Welcome to the timeless country charm of Glengarry, a beautiful town here in Latrobe City that has its heritage dating back to the late 19th century, where it played a pivotal role in supporting agriculture and the railway industries. Glengarry's name comes from its heritage, the heritage of a number of its people, which were from Scotland. But Glengarry wasn't always known as Glengarry. It had a different name. In the late 1870s, the area known as Toongabbie South started to develop and farming commenced there. And in 1872, the Toongabbie South Primary School opened, and the area continued to develop further and further. And then in 1883, the rail line between Traralgon and Hayfield opened. Part of the timeless country charm in Glengarry is how the community pulls together and really supports each other and embraces and celebrates things like Christmas. As you can see, coming into Glengarry, there's all these beautiful ribbons on the trees welcoming people, because we're right at the foothills of the mountains. There's plenty of places to walk, to take photos, and the people here are just so welcoming. This is still the main street coming into Glengarry. It's not the main street, but it is a main street. But here we've got one of those classic country, we've got the netball courts over here. Again, the beautiful ribbons on the trees and playground for kids. There's the cricket field out here. So we've got a game of cricket happening, home of the Magpies. Just this, again, timeless country charm here in Glengarry. It's absolutely stunning. Beautiful day. It's quite hot today actually, but it's just very, very beautiful. Not everything needs to be a tourist destination to have an attraction, and this is the Glengarry Primary School, and as you can see from the colours on there, it's very pretty, and that's the newer section of the primary school. But then if we head over this way, you can see the older school, which has that very classic charm to it as well. It's not everything has to be this magical tourist destination. This is just a beautiful, again, timeless country charm. Look at it, look how beautiful that is. Glengarry also has this really cool skate park. Let's see if I can break my neck. I didn't break my neck, but it's a really cool skate park. But if we come this way, so up here is the Glengarry BMX track, which goes all the way around here, which is pretty cool to ride your bike on, for kids to play on. It's a great area here in Glengarry. Something for people to enjoy, especially on a day like today. You work up a sweat. Glengarry has many enduring qualities which make it a beautiful town that people want to come and visit. And one of those is the Anzac Memorial behind me that draws people in, especially with the remembrance of our Anzacs and their contributions to our freedoms. And behind that is the Glengarry Post Office. Now that's not where the Glengarry Post Office always was, and it wasn't known as the Glengarry Post Office, as I talked about earlier. There's lots of places for kids to play in Glengarry, and also too there's toilet blocks back there for you to use, especially if you've got kids. That's important. There's this really cool playground here that I'm walking through. Very modern, very safe for kids to play on. Although we don't want it too safe, we do want them to have a bit of adventure. There's a really cool tractor up here. I'll show you. If you come across this way, there's this really cool tractor here. And then if we come out this way, you'll see part of Glengarry's heritage with its agriculture background. We've got these cows, sheep. I love the way that's been integrated really nicely. So you've got the cows, the sheep, and then there's a sheepdog. This is the start of the Gippsland Plains rail trail here in Glengarry, and that goes all the way down that way. But if I come around this way as well, what you can also see over here is the Glengarry Mechanics Institute, which has a whole bunch of events on as well. And you can see that they've got right into the Christmas spirit as well. There's just so many Christmas things here. That's pretty cool. I want to clarify, when I say this is the start of the Gippsland Plains Rail Trail, It's the start of this side of the road. The rail trail, if we come around this way, you can see it actually goes back that way as well. It's all the little things that make up the uniqueness of Glengarry and the appeal of Glengarry, and just simple things like we've got a table here, picnic table, and then over here another picnic table. There's plenty of bins around. As mentioned, there's some toilets just over that way. It's just those little things that make it really, really attractive. To get more information about Glengarry, we've got an information centre here. And again, I love the Christmas spirit here. I'm a huge Christmas fanatic. And there's just all these little Christmas decorations around Glengarry, but they do have this Proud of Our Heritage Glengarry Information Centre, which has a bit of history about Glengarry. There's a town map. There's information about the creamery and butter factory. Some more decorations here. You'll have to come and have a look at that one. I'm not going to show you. But there's all bits and pieces inside here about Glengarry. In 1885, the commercial hotel opened in Glengarry, which became a major place where people wanted to meet and gather and congregate. Today, the place where people meet in Glengarry is the Glen pub here. I've just noticed this at the Glengarry skate park, which is really cool. They've got this Merry Christmas Glengarry and Happy New Year 2023. So obviously that was last year, but it's a great little messaging here that beautifies the region, makes it look that little bit extra special. And part of that timeless country charm here in Glengarry, it's just quite amazing and very beautiful. There's lots of little hidden gems around Glengarry in Latrobe City. And behind me, we've got some grapevines. There's a bit of squishing going on. And this is one amazing gem that's really, really well known and a great place to come down and check out. And it's the Narcoogee Winery and Restaurant. This is a little sneak peek of the Narcoogee Winery, which is very, very popular and very beautiful, as you can see. I'm not going to show you the whole lot. We'll do a separate review on that later. But if we swing around this way, you can see these beautiful trees and check out the amazing lawn out here. And then you've got the restaurant through there and then the winery here. The openness and peacefulness of this particular area here is deceptive because on the third Sunday of the month, this all changes because it becomes the home of the famous Glengarry Market, which has around 70 to 80 stalls. It's a bustling hub. The Glengarry Market is the epitome of the quintessential timeless country charm within Glengarry itself. And if I swing around this way, the market spreads all the way through here. But if I come over this way, what you can see is what was the old train station, the Glengarry train station, which wasn't originally known as Glengarry. One of the other really cool things you can see here is the old crane that they used to unload the train with here in the Glengarry, or where they have the Glengarry Market. It was on the 1st of January 1884 that the railway station and post office was the post office was opened here and named Latrobe post office at the station. And then later in December of that year, 1884, they changed the name to Glengarry. Now the railway closed in 1986, and then the Glengarry train station got a new lease on life. It certainly comes alive here when the Glengarry Market's on, and you have the platform 3854 cafe here in Glengarry, which is a great spot to get coffee, to connect with people. Beautiful coffee here, and it's a great repurposing of the timeless country charm here in Glengarry. The Gippsland Plains Rail Trail comes from all the way that way, and it's 67 kilometers. So you can walk, run, ride all the way down, and then when you get here to the platform 3854 cafe, you can have a bit of a break, have a rest, stop, and then continue on that way. So I'm going to go for a bit of run. I'm going to probably run for about 5 meters and then I'll stop. Yeah, I've had enough. That'll do. These are just some of the exciting things to see in Glengarry with its timeless country charm. It is a beautiful place in Latrobe City to just really enjoy nature, enjoy life, get a bit of relaxation, find that peace within your life. Highly recommend coming down, having a look, have a picnic, just enjoy the peace and tranquility here in Glengarry. But if I come over this way, what you can see is what was the old train station, the Glengarry train station, which wasn't originally known as Glengarry. It was known as Latrobe train station when the post office opened there back in, I've forgotten the year now, but it was whatever I said earlier.